got called out for an emergency. So,
yes.
but it's being handled, and so things are going well. So, back to our listening audience and to our local audience, we want to welcome each of you. Sorry for that little break in action. I hope everybody's doing well, and we want to let people know locally that they can hear us live on YouTube. They can go to my website, askdrferguson, askdrferguson.com. In the middle of the page, you'll see a little link that says Live Radio. Click on that. And at the top corner, when you get to YouTube, you'll see a little house. Click on the house, and then click on Feed. And you'll be able to catch the program live. There's about a 30-second delay, so you probably don't want to listen on the radio and the YouTube at the same time.
Yeah, because, yeah, you're right.
It will be a little disjointed if you try to do that. But for those of you who want to catch us on the radio, feel free to do that, and you'll be able to hear the program live. So, our goal each week is preventive health, and to talk about something that people can utilize immediately in their day-to-day routine, day-to-day lives. And we've been talking about vitamins and minerals the last several sessions, and how some of those are utilized and what they're good for. And I thought we would continue on that line this time because there was still so much more that could be talked about.
Yes.
So in previous shows, just as a quick summary, vitamins and minerals. So people hear those terms all the time, and a lot of people don't have much understanding of what those two terms mean or what it's all about. So when you say the word vitamins, vitamins are organic compounds necessary for our growth, necessary for maintaining our bodies. They help regulate, but they do not provide energy. They indirectly work as a catalyst to help maintain different things that are maintenance things that are taking place in our body that might provide energy. But vitamins in themselves don't provide the energy. They do it indirectly. And they're referred to as organic compounds. So we have to take those in. Our body doesn't make them, and the body doesn't replenish them. We have to take them in from the outside. And then the organic usually refers to, when we use that terminology, a lot of times you'll hear about organic foods, things like that. That would suggest you use natural, preserved natural things when you're raising that particular crop or something like that. So organic has taken on a lot of different meanings. Now, the other word there is minerals, because a lot of times we say vitamins and minerals. Well, minerals are non-organic substances. They never change forms. They don't burn up. They don't decompose. The same way they come into your body is the same way they leave your body. And they leave your body via your digestive tract or via your urinary tract. So one of those two ways, they leave your body, and then they go back into the treatment plants, into the earth from where they came from. But they don't change form, shape, anything. They stay the same forever. So the same minerals that we have now are the same minerals they had when Jesus was on the earth. Same minerals when the earth first, when people first started being in existence. No change in the minerals. And vitamins and minerals come together, and many times they work in what we call a synergistic way. Synergistic meaning rather than 1 + 1 = 2, if it's going to work synergistically, maybe 1 + 1 = 10. So them coming together, they can many times make a process better than they would by themselves. Is that pretty clear?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
and so vitamins and minerals, where do we get them from? We get them from our food. We get them from the meats. The animals eat the grass, eat the plants, the animals, things like that, and then they, in turn, are going to get some of the vitamins and minerals from those sources. But most times in this day and time, you would not be able to get all the vitamins and minerals you need from your diet, even if you got a great diet. And why is that? Is because sometimes the soil has been depleted of some of those nutrients that you may need. So taking supplementation is a very important thing. And I encourage people, you're picking your supplements. Health food stores are probably a good place to go. Natural multi-marketing companies a lot of times have good multivitamins. You can go by my website, askdrferguson.com. A lot of multivitamins on there, a lot of nutritional supplements, things like that, links to other places. But a lot of times the cheapest one is not going to be the best one. You might go in one of the big chain stores and you might see vitamin E on the shelf. And it might say one of them is $4.99 and the next one next to it is $18.99. Well, what's the big difference in price? Well, the difference in price comes in how they're made. if a vitamin is wrapped, the coating on it is wrapped very tight. Many times when you take it into your body, you don't even dissolve it. It just kind of sits there. Where a lot of times the coatings that break down easier are usually your more expensive coatings. So consequently, when you get the cheaper vitamin, maybe the coating is different. The other big difference is you have synthetic components and you have natural components. Now, vitamin E has a synthetic component, it also has a natural component. And we know that the natural component is about 75% more potent than the synthetic component. So if you get 400 milligrams of the natural, 400 milligrams of the synthetic, the effect on your body is going to be very different. Although looking at the bottle, they look the same, and you'll look at one costs less, and you say, well, maybe that one's okay because it costs less. But that's not a good theory when you're dealing with vitamins and minerals. So when you're picking your vitamins and minerals, what should you pick? What should you choose? How should you choose them? And that's a big challenge because you'll hear this on the news and you'll hear this on the news and then you'll say, well, let me try that, let me try that. If you listen to some of the programs, Dr. Oz, the doctors, I think they both do a good job of talking about preventive and natural healthcare things. But you have to use those as building blocks and keep building upon your armamentarium. Because if you try to take all the different things individually that you might potentially need, you might be up to 30 different bottles.
Okay.
And so you have to put some wisdom in the equation as you add things. And if you can find a maker that has a supplement that has a good combination of those things, that would be a good direction to go. And Unicity is one of the companies that has a good thing. You can go by my website and you can look at some of their things. But there's almost going to be no vitamin and mineral supplement that's going to have everything.
Right.
So you may have to take some additional things of something you want to take. Calcium, I'm getting a little off my topic, but I'll jump to calcium. The calcium is a mineral, and a mineral is one of those things I told you does not break down, does not change form. It stays that same form its entire existence. Comes in your body in that form and leaves your body in that form. The calcium citrate is one of the most common ones you find on the market, but 20% of people over the age of 50 can absorb calcium citrate. So, not calcium citrate, calcium carbonate. Scratch that. Calcium citrate is a much better one for you than calcium carbonate. Now, you hear about, there was what was it called? Coral calcium. That was advertised a long time. They finally had to stop advertising because they were making some advertisements that weren't correct. But coral calcium was a calcium carbonate. Calcium carbonate is your least effective calcium. Least effective, not most effective. So those of you who are looking at calcium carbonate is not the one you want. Calcium citrate malate, those are going to be better forms of calcium. A lot of times the research that's been done, because calcium carbonate was so expensive and so plentiful, a lot of times the research that you'll find has been done on calcium carbonate. And so it's difficult to translate the research from calcium carbonate into using calcium citrate or calcium citrate malate or calcium malate or one of those different ones. And so when you're trying to pick the amount of calcium that you need, it used to be suggested that the average person needed about 1,500 milligrams of calcium per day. How accurate is that number? Well, that number is based on calcium carbonate, and that number was also based on a population that may not fit who you are. So when you're talking about calcium, calcium citrate malate would be one of the better ones. If you're on my website, look up Bone Mate. Bone Mate is a great source of calcium. You like calcium to be mixed with some magnesium. It helps with its utilization. Vitamin D also helps with calcium's utilization. And calcium, is used for your bones, your teeth, your nervous system, your muscle contractions. So calcium is used a lot of different places in your body. And if you're deficient in calcium, then you may have some challenges. Now, if you're not eating well and your albumin is low, that's your protein count in your blood. If that's low, then your calcium also goes down low. So there's everything in your body is a cascade. There's nothing in isolation. That's why I caution our listening audience from going out and just getting every little new vitamin you hear, mineral you hear mentioned on television or internet or wherever else. because your body is a combination of all these things working together. You know, it's like the basketball tournament that just went, you know, the Spurs versus Miami. Well, the Spurs were working as a well-oiled team. Nobody was real doing it all by themselves, and they beat Miami pretty bad because Miami wasn't working as a well-oiled team. And so your body is a well-oiled team. It's a team of vitamins, minerals, all types of things working together. The nutrients, the sugars, the proteins, the carbohydrates, the fats, all of those things working in harmony and getting the job done. So when you begin to take supplements, you have to be a little cautious on just taking so much and getting some understanding on what you are taking. Now, when you talk about vitamins, as a review again, you have the B's and the C's. Those are water-soluble vitamins. So it's hard to take too much of those because your body is just going to eliminate them in your urine. If you take too much vitamin C, you'll end up getting diarrhea. That's probably the biggest problem you're going to have from too much vitamin C. But if you take vitamin E, vitamin D, vitamin K, those are fat-soluble vitamins. And fat-soluble vitamins, they get dissolved in your fat. So that means those vitamins have the potential of becoming toxic to your body if you take those in excess, because they're going to be absorbed into your fat, and the more of those you take, the more of those get absorbed into your fat, and so potentially you could become toxic on those. So you do have to be careful in how much of the vitamins and minerals that you take. It's hard to get toxic on the B's and the C's, but it's not so hard to get toxic on the A's, the D's, the E's, and there's lots of other vitamins that we have, but those are probably the big ones that we talk about most often. And so you go to look at your multivitamin, and it tells you what your daily recommended allowance is. That's a very limited number. That number is based on research that was done many years ago using a cohort or using a group of white males in their 20s. And so you can see that that does not represent our entire population by any shape, form, or fashion.
Exactly.
And so because that's the way a lot of your RDAs were established, they just may not be accurate for you or someone else. So this is where you may want to listen and get some additional things. Now, for example, vitamin C. Vitamin C is a great antioxidant. It helps in a lot of the different metabolizing your food in the body. It helps fight off infection. It's a great product to take in your body. And Linus Pauling, who actually developed the alpha helix, which is part of our DNA structure, he used to take in excess of 5,000 to 10,000 a day. And he did that for many years, and the claim is he was never sick. I don't know how accurate that claim is, but you know, I say that to say you can take a lot of vitamin C. I recommend 2,000 a day, 2,000 milligrams. You can take a lot of vitamin C and never have any problems. And again, it does help boost your immune system. It does help fight off infection because it's a great antioxidant. And we briefly mentioned that last week. What happens in your body is when a cell begins to function abnormally, it becomes what we call a free radical. So kind of like somebody free-spiriting out there doing their own thing. And what happens in that setting, the cell is no longer a stable cell. It's out there messing up, it's drunk, it's high, it's just doing all kinds of stuff, and it's no longer stable. You don't know what it's going to do. And so then you get an antioxidant, which is something which one example of an antioxidant will be vitamin C, and that comes to your body, and it helps stabilize that cell again. It helps calm them down. It helps get them back in order. It helps, you know, get everything flowing right so that that cell can now function and lead a normal life again.
Okay.
So that's kind of the way antioxidants work as opposed to free radicals. Free radicals are going to be your triggers for any of your sickness, any of your diseases. It's going to be your triggers for your cancers when those cells begin to function abnormally. And there's lots of foods that can cause these things to happen. And there's other foods that can cause these things to be brought in check. And those foods that cause the free radicals to be brought in check are going to be the foods that are high in antioxidants. And then we're talking about vitamins and minerals. So what foods do you think be high in vitamins and minerals? Your fruits and your vegetables. Those are going to be the highest in your vitamins and minerals, your fruits and your vegetables, because that's where they come from. They come from the soil. And if the animal has it, it has to get it from the soil. Whereas when you talk about fats, and particularly saturated fats, where you get that? You get that from animal products. And so there's a difference. So when you pick up your peanut butter and it says cholesterol free, well, it never had cholesterol in it in the first place. Okay.
So they, one of the public things that they had taken out cholesterol that was never there.
Right. And so, well, they didn't tell you they took it out. They just said cholesterol free. You know, they know that's a buzzword for people to look at, you know, something high in cholesterol. I want something low in cholesterol.
Right.
So if I say cholesterol free, I don't have to say it was ever there before. I'll just tell you, it's cholesterol free.
But the general public, for the most part, won't know that.
Won't know that, and they'll think, oh, well, this is a great product. It doesn't have cholesterol in it. Well, it never had cholesterol in it in the first place. So, you know, advertising, you know, it's there to advertise. It's there for you to buy their product. You know, so this is why you have to become an educated consumer. As a quick side note, if you walk around the outside of most food stores, that's 80% of what you need. If you go down any of the aisles, go down that aisle with something specific in mind. Don't go down the aisle browsing to see what you might like to try. And be careful for what's at the end of every aisle. What's at the end of every aisle is usually going to be a gimmick item. It's usually something that has bought extra, you know, paid extra to have that corner spot. And so, because that's most attractive, because you know you got to pass it by when you enter the aisle, when you come from the aisle. Right. And that's usually going to be one of the products that may not be the best for you, but they paid to get that great location. So be very cautious of the things that are at the end of the aisles. That's a special place. And then you go, you know, then you have to begin to understand what you're looking at when you look at the labels. You might go over to you might pick up some margarine, and the margarine might say made with olive oil. Well, you know, you've heard olive oil is great product. And so, but then you look on the label and it says partially hydrolyzed. Well, now they've taken a great product and they've made it into a bad product. When you see the word hydrolyzed, that means they've taken the oil and turned it into what we call a trans fatty acid. Many of you have heard about trans fatty acids because it's been in the news a lot. So trans fatty acids are negative. Those are things that can be triggers for cancer. So whenever you hydrolyze that particular oil, you turn it into a trans fatty acid, of which something you don't want. So if you just pick up that label on margarine, and the margarine says, oh, this is a great product made with olive oil, and that's all you know, and you don't know that it's been partially hydrolyzed, then you think you got a great product because it had olive oil in it. So, you know, advertisers' goal is to sell their product. And so you have to become an educated consumer, so when you pick up that particular product, you can have some understanding of what the label is saying. And how do you become an educated consumer? Listening to this program weekly, listening to other programs that, you know, where doctors are talking, nutritionists are talking, things like that. And for those of you who want to see some of these repeats of these programs we've done, you can go to the website, askdrferguson.com, which is also a lot of other nutritional tips there. Click on there. On the front page, there's a link that says live video program. That will take you to my YouTube site. Once you're on the YouTube site, you don't have to go into the live feed that you're seeing right now. You will see multiple different videos, and you can click on those. So each of those that we do online, such as today, will be available for you to look at another time. So those are they're archived there right on my YouTube site. It's youtube.com/user/askdrferguson. And for those of you who want to try to reach me personally and see us in the office, we're always happy to see new patients. You can call the office at 252-332-6484. Always happy to see new patients. We try not to see them too young, but we do have a full general practice. We like dealing with geriatrics. We like Alzheimer's disease, natural hormone therapy, preventive health in general. So we do a whole battery of things, as well as have a substance abuse clinic. So we do enjoy the medicine that we practice, and we you know, the doors open for new patients. And then those of you who want to ask a question or want me to talk about a particular topic, you know, also call the office 252-332-6484, and just tell whoever you talk to that you want Dr. Ferguson to talk about a certain topic next time he's on the radio or sometime in the future. Right. Always happy to get suggestions. You can also call the radio station and do the same thing. So suggestions are always a good thing to help kind of guide the conversation. And for those of you who join us online, we always welcome you to join us online. It's wonderful to join us online, and you'll get the program that we're doing locally on the radio. I'm doing it at the nursing home. I break loose at Down East Nursing Home, and then the radio station's in a Husky, and then the rest of you are catching this all around the world because we're on YouTube. So with modern technology, we are all over the world. And for those of you who want to tell your family or friends, or you live locally, you want to tell your family or friends that live at a distance to join us, or people tell me all the time how much they enjoy the program, and sometimes they say, well, I wish my sister in California could listen. I wish my brother in New York could listen. And I say, you can. You just go to youtube.com/user/askdrferguson. That puts you on my site. Or more simply, go to askdrferguson.com. On the center of that website, click on Live Radio. It takes you to my website. And then you can look at all the programs that we've done in the past, not all of them, because we just started doing this not too long ago. But you can look at all that we've done live here on the radio, and you'll get a chance to view those.
We've got less than 2 minutes to go, Dr. Ferguson.
All right, well, we've been talking about vitamins and minerals, a very important component of our daily life. They help in many different ways. Vitamins, again, organic substance. Minerals, non-organic substance. Minerals never change form. They enter your body in the same form that they leave your body. Vitamins and minerals work together as catalysts. They help to make an enzymatic reaction work faster. They help you utilize your nutrients better by helping you break them down better. But they in themselves are not nutrients. They in themselves are not providing energy, but they're helping in the energy process. So getting a better understanding of those things, continue to tune in. We didn't get a long way down our trail talking specifically about vitamins and minerals today, but tune in next week and we'll do the same thing. And to all of those of you who joined us locally, and those of you who joined us in the World Wide Web, tell your friends about us every Wednesday, 9:30 to 10, same station. And on that note, Bishop, I say be blessed and have a wonderful day.
And you too, thank you.
All right, bye-bye. And those of you who are live on the World Wide Web, we appreciate you coming and joining us. Tell your friends about us. I see several of you have joined us today, and that's a wonderful thing. The attendance seems to be going up every time we do this program. The older ones are archived. One of the challenges is the internet. I'm here in a country area, and our internet is not fast. So excuse the quality of the video sometimes if it's a little jumpy or loses a signal, but the content is going to be good. So the information is still going to be good regardless of how challenging the video may be. There's a delay sometimes, 30-second delay. So sometimes my mouth will be moving and there'll be different words coming out than what you're hearing. If that be the case, I would suggest you just don't watch the video, but just listen to it. On that note, to all of you on the World Wide Web, I want you to have a blessed and wonderful day. And don't forget to join us next week. Tell your friends about us. All right. God bless.